Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Let's chill, have some good vibes, and do a little bit more coding. Izzy is already in my lap right here. She is pumped. She wants a lot of butt pets right now. Tap, 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 tap. How you doing, Isaboo? All right. Izzy, are you good? Meow. Alright, so some of the things I want to do today was that we were able to, let me actually get the virtual environment going. Meow meow. Oh yeah, when I so we got like a general framework going. Let's figure out where that print type was. Yep. So I wanna, for the main character, which will be a B cell in this case, I'm also thinking about having the player be able to switch between a macrophage and a B cell. And a T cell. For the T cell's case, for when if the epithelial cell gets infected, the T cell can then, because it recognizes the peptide MHC of the spike protein or whatever protein of COVID, can selectively target those infected cells while leaving the self cells okay. Now, I realized that, this was getting our general framework going, but now I want to make classes for the different immune cells and the virus, etc. So what we'll do first is we will save this as epithelial cell.py. Actually, let's rename that. So let's import Pygame. I think that's all we need for now. And then we'll call our class epithelial cell. Do I want to name an attribute yet? Maybe not. Let's just make the initialization constructor. And we'll do self. And then we'll most likely want an X and a Y position. That's my C programming side coming out. Let's do just X and Y. And then, let's see. We probably will want a sprite at some point. But I think this is okay for now. You probably also want the width and the height. And then let's see what we did. So we did so we want a Pygame direct. For that, we want self.x, self.y, self.width, and self.height. And then we'll have a change state method. And I think we can do this self dot and we'll just call this healthy. So here we'll do if self.state is equal to healthy, then we'll change it to infected. Else if self.state equals to infected, then we want to change it back to healthy. So I could have made this else, but just in case I potentially want to include more states down the road, we can play around with this a little bit more. So when it first instantiates an epithelial cell, the user needs to pass it, or not the user, in the main function most likely, will pass in what the dimensions are, like where the coordinates are for its placement, its width and its height. The width and the height, I'm honestly thinking that it should probably be the same, but just in case we want to like play around with things down the road, it'll make our lives easier to kind of have a variable here. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else we want to do at the moment. I think that's okay for now. And then in here, we'll import the epithelial cell. So right now, the code's not going to change a whole lot, but this will give us a lot more power down the road. When we have things like changing the states, and then we'll probably have like interferon sensitivity and things like that. So that's why I wanted to declare this class first. So we'll come in here. Let's just comment this out for now, just to make sure we didn't break anything. And then we'll do now, where do we draw the epithelial cell? Here. So we're just gonna say the append, and here we'll want to make a new epithelial cell. And we'll have to pass in now here 50 times I, H minus 100, 50 and 100. And let's just see how this goes for the first attempt. Oh yeah, let's import epithelial cell as EC. And that way we can declare okay, so we gotta change this line 75. So what we'll do is we'll come into the class. We'll call this draw epithelial cell. And here we're gonna need the screen. So we'll need the screen. We're also going to need to pass in a color. I honestly though, I feel like the epithelial class, well, yeah, because what we'll want to do at some point is we're probably going to want to draw, like change the color. So we'll also have a self.color. And I did 227, 161, and 115. Let's color first. Yep, and then self. And 2. So now since this array or this list is going to be of type, where are you? Epithelial cell, we can now should be able to go into our epithelial cell, which is the one object in that array, and call draw epithelial cell. And we'll need to pass in the main screen. Two were given? What? Did I leave a space back? One positional argument, but two were given. Hey Ryan, how are you? Oh, gotcha. I hope today's not too terrible day at work. See why this is doing this. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. So here. Huh. Got multiple values for argument screen? Maybe this main screen object. Yeah, let me. Let's see if we can, I'm guessing this main screen object is actually 2. Like we're passing more things. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. I'm seeing that you can't copy. You can't copy the whole main screen object because it's like more than one. Oh, I am so stupid. Okay, so this can be screen. I think this needs to be .draw.rect. There we go, I think. Hopefully. Don't think. We're gonna have to pass something else. I don't think that will work because this is not a global variable. Oh, I see, I see. It's not about the color, I don't think. Let's just add, what was the number, 115? So I'm guessing it's not gonna know self here either. All right, how is this saying take 0 but 1 was given? Yeah, gotta call it on the object. Let's see. Let's maybe that's why self wasn't being recognized. But I think this is the argument that's being passed into this. All right. So I fixed that error. Try to think the best way. Oh, I know why. That's what. We'll see if we can just do self rather than self-direct. Here we are passing in an epithelial cell, which was initially defined as a rect. All right. So we're able to create the same epithelial cells below, but now we have a class which will give us more functionality as we develop the game. So now we can get rid of this, clean this up a little bit, and this. And now we're going to create another class called virus.py. And that way I would be happy to. If there's anything you want specific questions on, Ryan, let me know. Alright, let's import Pygame for this. And this one we're gonna have different states as well. So we're gonna have a class, virus. I always forget if you need the parentheses or not. And then let's define our initialized. Do we want to pass in? No, I think when we initialize, we actually don't want an XY position because that will be random. And so we will keep it within the virus class, but I'm thinking we might do a separate function or method that defines like the virus placement and then the virus movement. So we'll have like this, and then we'll have a virus movement, and then, well, before the virus movement, we'll also have a virus placement. And then we'll probably have some get functions as well. So get virus. Well, it's already calling it on it, so we'll just call it get position. All right. So in here, we're going to do the same thing similar to the epithelial cell, where we're going to have, we will have a width and a height, because that will always be that we will definitely need. So we'll just call self.width equals width, self.height equals height. And we also need to, of course, define self. And then we'll again have a self.rect. I guess it's gonna need a height and a width. An X and a Y. So maybe when we initialize it, we will just put an X and a Y. For now, I might change this later. Ryan, do you have a specific language you wanna like get back into? Oh, and we want a self.color, and the virus in this case is red. Oh, nice. Those are good choices: HTML, PHP, and Python. Are you thinking of making a website? Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like when you don't use it enough, I think like for me even like it's the syntax that really catches you, or like how each language handles different types and different objects, and then you just end up like getting all these syntax errors. That's pretty cool that you used to make websites. I haven't done very much website stuff. For me, it's a lot of data science. So I do R and Python, and then I used to do quite a bit of C# because I use the Unity engine for game dev, but then Unity had their own like thing of like you need to pay and stuff like that recently. So since I already used Python for data science, I was like, you know what? Let me try out Pygame and see how it goes. I might just, when I initialize it, I might just import a... What were the boundaries that I set last time? That makes sense, Ryan. Life just gets busy. And, I mean, that's how it kind of started with me, with like doing game dev during quarantine, and then resumed graduate school and kind of dabbled here and there throughout to do it, but never could really have the time to like actually make a game. And now I just like enjoy doing it, so I figure on weekends it's a nice little thing to do for a little bit, no matter how long it's gonna take. And the nice thing is like making a game is fun, at least for me. So it's not too tiring, but yeah, work life is hard. What did I want? Random integer. Where was it? Yeah, random. I probably want these global as well. So I'm assuming since you're in IT, Ryan, you do actually quite a bit with Linux. Oh, well, don't be too hard on yourself. I mean, it seems like you're doing a lot. You got your hands full. But definitely, I would say make time, honestly, make time to play video games before, honestly, coding. I feel like, at least for me, gaming is definitely more relaxing. Oh, cool. What distro do you normally use? Red Hat for servers? Oh wait, no, I actually don't need... This one is gonna be like... just slightly below. So I think I had it at... 30. Oh, nice. Are you running Ubuntu on your personal computer right now, or was it Linux Mint, or was it Fedora? I can't remember. Or was it Manjaro? I don't remember. Sorry. So we don't need a virus placement. We only need the width because that's the only one where we're gonna just generate across. The height's gonna start at the top and fall. So I think that's everything for the initialization. Oh, nice. That's really cool, Ryan. All right. So the virus timer, we actually don't, we can keep that in main, but the goal here is to get this into here, and so then we just only call one method in the main, and then I'll clean things up. All right, so here, let's actually just object pool 1,000. And then we can call this append. Now we can do, oh. Nice. Yeah, I personally am gonna probably, I mean, I still like Mac OS. And I also, I mean, one of the things I really like about between Linux and Mac is that a lot of the commands are very easily runnable between the two and transferable, whereas like command prompt in Windows is different. But iMessage, I love being able to just text from my laptop rather than having to use my thumbs. Maybe I'm becoming old, but it's just so much faster. And so I like that ability. Are you running Apple Silicon MacBook Pro? Because I don't know. I've heard like they're starting or they've been working on ARM, like more focused for Linux, but I don't know how well it runs compared to like native Mac OS. Alright, let's see. Virus movement. So we're going to do... actually, I will. Main screen, and then we're gonna do self.color, self.rect, and then so these recs are most likely gonna change the sprites once I can get proper images in. But all right, self.rect, and then what was the final thing? I think that was it, because we're doing solid blocks, and then this virus counter can just be handled by the main function. So if we do like we'll actually want to do virus counter -1 and then draw the virus. I never really got too much into C++. I've done a decent amount of C programming, which is just straight procedural, but which is great also in teaching. It taught me a lot about like pointers and memory allocation. The number of times when I was learning and I got segmentation faults because I ran out of memory or didn't allocate the correct amount of memory early on. But I feel like nowadays, especially with like integrated with work, it's just extra lines of code, whereas like R and Python are a little bit more streamlined. But of course, they're slower than C. C and C++ are probably the best when it comes to like performance. I also want a is active. And we'll set that to true when you first initialize it. Well, I guess I would want it first false when it's initialized because we're doing the object pooling. And then in the draw virus, once it appears, then we'll do self dot is active and set that to true. And that way, we can come into here and say if self dot is active is true, but in Python you don't need to do that. Then we'll set the speed. Sounds good. So for virus movement, because here I update the speed, like change the direction every second of the virus using frames. So let's just pass that in. Time or frame time. No, that means we'll just call it time. Then we'll set the, oh, we're gonna need speed values for this as well. So dot speed x, no, dot speed y. I think y we kept constant. But if it's not active, we can instantiate it with just 0 speed, and then we can set the speed equal to some random integer between 10, minus 10 and 10. And speed y oh, and then we have to also update its position. Plus equals that. So just add this, the speed value to the x. I think we had just some random integer, just as if it's gravity. What did I define it as up here? 3, okay, let's just say it's 3. And time modulus 60 equals 0. So as soon as it's, so this will also include the time as soon as it instantiates, because time would be 0. Actually, do I even need that? I don't even think I need that. I just think can just check if it's active and do this, and then here, oh, let me just, before I forget, so plus equals self.speedy, and then here, instead of doing this, I can just cause Welcome back. Welcome back. Why the hell do I have I here? Yeah, I would say start with Python. So many people use it these days. I would just start with Python. I enjoy Python. I'm not doing anything super intensive where I need the full optimization of C or C++. So it does what I need it to do. Let's append. A virus dot virus. And then we're already picking an X, so we don't want the other person to pass in an X. And we're already passing in a Y for the position, because that's going to be on the top of the screen, so we don't even need to do that. So the width and the height, which this time we did 30, 20. We did 20, 20. And then the screen width would be W. Here, I'm only calling one. This would need to be in a for loop, so let's just comment this out briefly. And we'll just say for I in range of the virus counter. That's how many active viruses we have. Then we just say SARS dot I draw. Nope. I think we're gonna draw the virus earlier because we're not drawing it only one every second, we're drawing it every frame. Yeah, here. Draw virus. We do not need this because we're instantiating our as soon as we do draw virus, then we're gonna come here, set this to true. And then we will also, instead of virus movement, I'll just say move virus. This is fine. Yep, we want to cast it into an int. That's totally fine. So this, only when the virus, it'll just go to the next one. And that we object pooled. And then every time a second pass, then we want to move the virus. So we can consolidate this. So I'm thinking here. I think when we move the virus, we can move this if statement into here. Well, no. Maybe we actually want to call this update virus. And then in here, we're only going to do this. And here we can call this like check virus boundaries. And then we can say this will be the SARS-CoV-2 virus. So for COVID. We'll get the rect characteristic and then we'll go into its left. Forgot my if statement. So if it's less or yeah, so like during quarantine I made a game where like you were a B cell and you fired out antibodies as the virus were generating and moving down, and if you didn't shoot it, like if a virus was able to hit an epithelial cell, then that epithelial cell would change states and become infected, and then if all the epithelial cells got infected, then you would lose the game. But now I want to kind of remake it. I did it in like Lua, which was like the only time I used Lua programming. But this time I want to make it a remaster it in Pygame, in Python, and add some more features that I've thought of, and also see if I can get local LLMs to make the graphics for me, because when it comes to art, I'm just shit. I'm more of a coder than an artist. So hopefully that will work out. Oh, and I need to pass the width here. And I need to pass self. Then we will just change its speed. Negative self.x. So here we're going to update this and make this now sars.i, and we'll just draw the virus. That's what we're doing here. This we don't need. This stuff we don't need. We can consolidate this into one line, and we can just say .i check virus boundaries, and then we need to pass in the width. Alright, so every single time we do a frame, we'll draw the virus so it stays drawn, and then we'll just make sure that it's not hitting any of the boundaries, and if it does, move the X in the opposite direction. And then we're probably going to get, for return position, we can just return self.x. If we need this. Okay, so far this looks good. We can actually get rid of these speeds. We will implement the B cell class. Frames is good. Purple is fine. I'll probably make, I wonder if Python, it probably does. Because for some of these things, a struct might be better than a class. I'll read more into how Python does like handle structs and see if it's worthwhile. But I'm thinking like we might have a struct for a bunch of colors, and some variables, something that's not really. We might not need a class, or I might just end up doing a class if it gets big enough, but we'll see. Okay, so this is fine, this is fine. Clock is fine. We'll probably end up making a clock class so we can manage like the virus counter and at some point, just to clean up the main Py file. This is probably not gonna work the first time. I probably forgot something. Oh. Wait, what? Oh, it's lowercase. Killing me. I'm killing myself. actually... Whoa. Let's just double check. Did not fix it here. Oh, it is. Okay, cool. Whoops. All right. Ah, time. I don't need time anymore. Whoa. Wait, I should draw the virus after I move the virus. And then there was one more place that I had draw virus. Here we go. Wait, what? Virus object has no attribute move virus. Oh, right, because I changed. Yeah, if the virus, nope. Well. Is that the only place? Because I updated it here. Let me just double check. So it's drawing, but it ain't moving. Alright, let's see why that's the case. Right. So we actually do, because this is just, we'll just update the speed, and we don't want it to call every frame a random integer, so we do actually need a move virus. Dot x is equal to plus equals. Because every frame we want to move the virus. Oh yeah, that's already moving it. So we just update the virus speed every 60 frames, or since we capped at 60 frames per second, 1 lock, or 1 second, sorry. And then every single time we want to draw the virus, every frame, move the virus, and check its boundary to make sure it's not going too far left or too far right. Let's see how we do this time. I mean, it's doing a great job of drawing them. It's just not updating their speed. Okay, come on, man. So they're appearing. Let's see. Let's just get X speed. I just want to make sure we're actually getting let's just print to the terminal. Actually, when we run this loop. Okay, so the X speed is updating. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, we're drawing the virus. Let's actually convert this to a string, otherwise it'll do the arithmetic. Actually, let's do an F string. X vector is this plus next X position is get X position. Let's just see what we're looking at. Oh. For virus I V all right. So here the X vector is 3. The X position is 725. Here it's 745. So it is changing, but it's not updating. Like even if the Y wasn't working, it would I would expect it to jitter back and forth. Let's see what we got here. Maybe we move in place, the X value will be and the Y value oh wait, we don't need the Y because we are. What if we change this? And here we return. Nope, sorry. We draw the virus. And we do main screen. So that way every time we're moving the virus, we're moving in place and drawing the virus. And that way we can just pass in the main screen. Where are we? Line 49. All right, look at that. We got the virus moving. So my guess is the order at which Pygame was probably... Oh, why did it stop? Why did it stop at 29? So let's get rid of this. Because we made 1,000. Right? Wow. Yeah, we made literally 1,000. So why did it stop at 29? Is it because... Let's print. And virus timer. If I can spell. Whoa. All right, let's see what happens at 29. I think I have a gut feeling that, yeah. So the virus timer just goes down to 0, and so we're not generating anything anymore. So we're gonna need another one that after it's already entered this if statement, if it's after you do the subtraction, then we need to reset it. Ryan, I would say the best is Code Llama. So you can download Ollama. So I think I have... Let me just open this in another... Alright. And then Ollama list. Let's do Ollama pull Code Llama. I think there's let's see. Ollama. If you want it, if you want to do local LLM, of course, but if you want to do like just on a server, then probably GPT-4. Let's do. I'm not sure. I think it probably is. I'm sure Gemma is probably. It's probably good, would be my guess. But I can download both and we can do a quick test of it. So I'll go back to my code while we wait for that. Oh, if you're running it locally, yeah, let's try out Gemma versus Code Llama. So I did the 13 billion parameters. Let's just do 12 billion for this one. About. An AI server would be super cool. What GPU are you planning on using for that? Let's see. Oh, we can, how about we test the 4 billion then for you? And then I'll pull the Code Llama. What does Code Llama have? Let's see. Yeah, I got you. Although, if we're looking at Code Llama 7 billion, it's 3 more billion parameters, but it's only half a gig more. So let's compare the two. Because both of them should be able to load on your 6 gigabytes of VRAM on the 1060. So let's... and see how that goes. Alright, so here I want to do like 1 divided by. Or we can do virus counter times. Yeah, let's just see. It might be really fast when it gets larger and larger. And we also need to make this an int. Otherwise we'll have the float problem we had last time. All right, let's see how this does. Okay, so it's still stuck on. Yeah, because when this becomes 30... But why isn't it entering in here? Alright, let's see. Alright, let's do Olama, run, Gemma. 3. And let's ask it how to make a class in Python. So it does pretty good. Now let's see. Yeah, that is pretty fast. The CUDA cores and the 5080 are awesome. Let's see what Olama run code llama does. Okay. I'm gonna just type in the same exact thing. So it seems like Code Llama was a bit more succinct, and it gave you the code that you needed. So what I see here is Gemma is more helpful in the side that I mean, this is how you would define a class, define a variable. That's what I've been doing. I will say one of the things that I noticed between the two is Gemma will give you more teaching information. So like it goes into polymorphism and inheritance while also giving the code. Honestly, I think both of these would work great. If you're like learning more, maybe actually do Gemma, because it'll give you a little bit more. I just don't know if it's completely accurate with Gemma. Let's see. Yeah, this looks good so far. Oh, sorry, Ryan. I was just saying that it looks like both the code from initial pass-through look pretty good. It's just that Gemma seems to be giving you a little bit more conceptual information. So that could be more helpful, especially if you're just getting back into it and you want to learn more. Whereas Code Llama is more succinct. It just gives you the point. So like if you're just like looking up a library and you want to know a function call, then I think maybe Code Llama would be more helpful. So like draw a rectangle in Pygame. Okay, now it's going really long. This is showing like drawing curves. That was not succinct. Yeah, I figured that I might be lagging. Sorry about that. Maybe while I was pulling it, decided that my internet wasn't gonna be good. Yeah, it dropped to 3 10K before, so probably while I was pulling the libraries. Honestly, I feel like Gemma looks pretty solid. Both of them look good. And I think you can also ask it to be succinct. So like, give me the code to draw a rectangle in Pygame, and please keep your answer succinct. Oh, damn it, I spelled succinct wrong. Yeah, so a lot better. And initialize, import Pygame, Pygame init, boom, boom. That's exactly what we did. Pygame draw direct. Display flip. Oh, one thing it didn't do right was this Pygame display.flip needs to be in the while loop. Otherwise, it's not going to update every frame. I know in theory it shouldn't affect it, but you know, ISPs are ISPs. Let's ask how to draw a rectangle in Pygame. Please keep your answers succinct. Yeah, so when I'm noticing, oh, so Gemma actually got this right. Like, you're supposed to update the display every time in the frame, whereas CodeLlama got that wrong. Now, if I ran it with a higher parameter for the CodeLlama, maybe it would get right, but you know, the same size and 3 billion less parameters for Gemma, and it gives you a nice, concise explanation of all. I don't know, maybe Gemma is better. Thank you for that tangent. That was actually helpful for me too. All right, let's see. Ah, it's running it before. So what if we actually... Yeah, you should definitely build your AI server. I want to hear about this. Let me know how that goes. Let me actually take this. So if it enters in here, let me go back to, oh, why did, rip. Oh my god. I'm so stupid. Sometimes these are the things that I'm like, god damn. I did equals equals instead of just equals. So it was a comparing instead of assignment. Rakib, come on. Hopefully this works now. It still doesn't correct it. Oh. Of course, of course. Because it's casted as an int, 1 over 30 is less than 0. So it's just rounding down to 0. That's the problem. So we're gonna go virus. Honestly, let's just do. I need a second number because I don't want it to get, as more viruses come, I don't want it to slow down by making the virus timer larger. I want it to make it shorter. Since I'm casting as an int here, maybe I don't need. Let's just make sure this fixes the problem of stopping at 30. -2. We made it past one variable. How the... Oh. Because then this part here becomes 62. I think I'm just going to have to define another variable. Because I need to keep track of how many variants are on the screen, so maybe I'll just... This also runs into the problem of when it's greater than 60. So maybe, yeah, maybe virus counter is not. I need an independent counter. Okay, let's think. I want to create a variable. Because I don't want this to be so high that it's... Oh, you know what we're gonna do? It might be computationally intensive, but what I'm thinking is, like, we want an exponential delay. Decay, sorry, not delay. Whereas more viruses come on, let's go to... I want x squared minus x. Wait, I didn't ask for a log. Why are they giving me log? So here we're in negative. Whoa. Because here, if x increases, then y is going to increase too. But we can't have it cross over to negative. So maybe we'll do log s would plateau. Oh, you know, we want exponential decay. However, we don't want it to get less than 1 because we need to cast it as an int. Bro, not squared. Why is it? I see. So we want something like this. So we'll do like, let's just do 1 minus r raised to the x. Bro. Oh, we can set the decay rate. So we just want 0.7. Can we add 1 and then will it be asymptotic to 1? Alright, let me just, because Wolfram Alpha is being weird. Yeah, so it looks like here, if we enlarge this, okay, god damn it. This value here will give us where it's asymptotic to. And since we're doing this every frame, we don't want something generating every frame. So maybe we make it like asymptotic to 60. So then we can come into here. I need my full screen back. So now we can do something like 0.2 raised to, oh, how do we do power? Okay. So we want how 0.2 raised to the virus counter And let's just add 60 to that. So the virus timer will never... Let's just see what this gives us first, because it will never enter into here because it's asymptotic to 60. So I think we just gotta do... that. All right, I'm gonna figure out what's a better function to use the virus counter in to lead to better exponential decay, so we don't run into that problem. Yeah, okay. All right. Anyway, yeah, I'll figure out what's a better function to do to make sure it resets properly. I'll think about that a little bit. But thank you everybody for tuning in. This has been really wonderful. Are you asking a question, Ryan? All right. Thank you everybody for tuning in today. We almost got to the same point, but we got a lot cleaner code with classes that'll be very, very useful as we add more functions to the various components like the T cell, the B cells, the virus. What's up? What was your question? Oh, I think it didn't come up on the screen. I saw something saying, so you're a scientist, and then it faded away on me. Could you ask it again? Or maybe I can even just scroll back. Oh, LOL. Funny question. I actually, A, would never do that, but B, I actually work on the cancer immunology side, so I'm an immunologist by training, but I like study it more in the context of how we can study T cell responses and have them attack tumor cells better compared to viruses. Like, I'm familiar with it because we had to learn it in our graduate classes. but it's not something I study on a regular basis. I'm definitely not into the biowarfare. If in case, you know, the FBI is listening or anything, LOL. But in all seriousness, yeah, I work more on the cancer immunology side. I hope you have a good rest of your day, Ryan. Thank you, everybody who tuned in. I will continue working on this game, and hopefully I can get another stream soon. But until then, peace out, everybody. Oh, cure for diabetes. So interestingly, I actually did some diabetes research as an undergraduate. It had to do more with xenograft transplantation of beta islet cells. So it's a very, very interesting area of research. If, you know, my career path ends up taking me that way, that would be cool too. I'm definitely very much interested on the autoimmunity side of immunology as well. And especially type 1 diabetes kind of falls into that category. So maybe I would be interested in doing diabetes research. It's definitely very, very cool work that people do. Whether a cure, I mean, I think we're honestly making really good progress with some of the science that people have been doing. But thanks so much for tuning in, Ryan. Thank you, everybody else. And until next time, peace out. Hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend.